Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Shin Gear. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
They don't miss. They don't miss. I can't wait for it to be cold enough and I can start wearing all their good stuff again.
I'm taking all my stuff to Yellowstone in 2 weeks. With us today, it's live CBI. We got my good friend Roy Carter on today. Roy, how are you, my friend?
Oh, man, we're live CBI. How you guys doing down there in Texas?
We're wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You just got back from Canada. How was that flight back, my friend?
Oh, fuck. You would kick me in the balls first thing in the morning. I was sitting there, had all these fuzzy thoughts in my head. You, Andre. Oh, the judge. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I've got several things to say. Those people, the Canadians, because I found some that was mad. Oh, that president here. I mean, no. Well, where I was at a disclosed location in Alberta was a bunch of farmers, so they were basically Republican. But now up there in Canada, you know, they're next door neighbors to the richest country in the world, and I would say the best people in the world. Now, granted, when we vote in America, you know, you got your cities and your majorities, and so you got a bunch of city fucks that basically are making up the laws of the United States, and that's where it gets weird. You know, there's like these city people, they flip people off, you know, and then they don't ever see them again. Well, here in St. Paul, you flip somebody off, you're probably going to have to sit by them in church
right
this Sunday, or you're going to go to Max Skip and Split. So anyway, I'm up there in Canada. These poor bastards don't even have vanilla ice cream and A&W root beer. And anything to be different. So I finally had decided, you know, that country could save, this is pulling that out of my ass, but probably about $4 trillion a year. And that's a lot of money. If they would just quit with the French shit. I mean, didn't we kick some ass, take their country and give it back to them? I mean, you know, in the big war,
yeah,
those people, you know, and their women flogged us, and that was kind of cool, but neat story. But with all that being said, there's nobody, at least at the central and the western side of Canada, that speaks French. So all this time and all this confusion, you've got over the loudspeaker, all this French. You know, it's all just sounds like a bunch of homos. And then they'll spit it out in America. And I took a survey everywhere I was at, because I'm loud and proud and white. I took a survey. Couldn't find anybody to speak French.
No.
So that whole time, think of all that time in every building, every situation in that country, just because they're hardheads. I see why Trump's busting their balls. He needs to. They're a bunch of stupid idiots. But with that being said, we went through all the bullshit, and then we missed the flight. And then we had to go through that same bullshit again. And everybody's like, hi, how are you doing? What are you doing here again? Well, then there's always these people that see me. And I guess they know my personality. Hey, you over here.
Uh-oh.
We just come through here.
Right, yeah.
Where's your paperwork? Well, okay, so I open my pockets and papers fly everywhere. And I've even got a guy, it's such a cluster that Drake, he thinks I'm an invalid. He's got a cameraman following me around, and he's the bossy little bastard. And I'm like, dude, I believe it or not, I started flying when I went to basic training, sat in the back, and there was cigarette ashtrays in the armrest in an airplane.
Yeah.
What would you like to drink, Roy? I'll take 3 cans, or a can of Coke and 3 bottles of vodka, or whatever, and it was usually three whiskeys or vodka and 3 beers, because that was the goal. Everybody always said, "Have you ever flown before?" No. Well, when you do, chug beer, you get drunk twice as fast.
Because of the altitude?
Yes, and I grew up in St. Paul, Kansas. Every day we sit around wondering how to catch a buzz. And we're a bunch of little Catholics. There's nothing to do here. So we started drinking at a very young age. I shit you not. Where I live right now, right across the street at Ruthie and Felix O'Brien's house, Perry and I, he used to say he's staying all night with me. I'd stay all night with him. And he had a clubhouse out back, and we'd get a 6-pack and a pack of cigarettes and have a hell of a time listening to like Iron Maiden and shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, totally messed up. The kids took off on ground and got home 6 hours after me.
Oh my goodness.
So what were you? Was it, which airport were you at? Calgary, or where were you at?
Well, you're gonna
Edmonton.
We flew into Edmonton, and I took a plane jump up to another little spot.
Right.
Okay. Well, you don't want to get. So where did you catch all the hell at? In Edmonton, or the other spot?
Both.
See, because when
I'll just spit it out. At Grand Prairie. Fuck them guys up there. See, there was an issue that took place, and I had a guide company, and last year we was up there, and these real nice people called Field Quarter. Right away, they called the law on us and held the law. They don't have to do nothing. They just sit up there and wait for the phone calls from all these sniveling little guide outfits. Hey, he's doing this, and they're just like, man, this is great.
Right.
So they thought we did something wrong, and and I've made mistakes before, but one thing about it, honesty. Honesty. Guys, I learned this a long time ago. Anytime you get that weird feeling, okay, let's say you go across the street and you screw your neighbor's old lady, you should, a conscience. There should be a weird feeling in your heart. Okay, that's called the Holy Spirit. That's called conscience.
Right.
Now, in today's world, not much of that left. They're killing people and cheering about it. It's sick. It's sick. We need a lot of Roy Carter. Okay. And Dad said it was coming to this. And don't worry, we're ready. I've already got the spot picked out where we're digging in. And because if the National Guard and Army Reserves are not going to turn on their own people, and I'll just leave it at that. We've got segregated in this country. Terrible, terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I think it's. I
don't say that I'm a European American, and I'll leave it at that. See, it's gotten to where I have to speak like an attorney. It's terrible. So what I stand out because I tell the truth and I say it loud and proud. I give a speech on the last airplane, and the lady sitting with us was from Chicago. I said, "Oh my God, you're living it. It's absolutely terrible up there, isn't it? And I've never met you." She said, "Roy, it's out of control." I said, "Fuck, down in Memphis, they fired all the white police and hired blacks and still can't control it."
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So
I'm not going to sit back and just watch. You walk through my front door without permission. You wait and see what's going to greet your ass. No, so anyway, we had already been through here. Oh, you don't have the paperwork. Well, comment allez-vous. So anyway, that lady back there at United, because I'm going into country. Oh, let's rewind. Going into country, WestJet would not accept Canadians. We just did the firearm deal. That's there. We do our own. Okay, now this gal had a real short haircut, and it was spiked.
Oh yeah,
and she had tattoos.
You think she liked other women, probably?
I think she heard me call her Butch when she turned around, and so from that point on, it was terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
bad.
That's why when you listen to my podcast, you're going to hear the part about the rectal exam. Okay. And we're going to try not to blow this up. I want to keep you guys in first place. But hey, if we take over, second's not bad. But anyhow, not teasing. I'm teasing. But so with that being said, because I'm so unprofessional. I can never beat you guys in this, and it's not a competition; it's love.
Well,
So, with all that being said, I had a guy even walk up to my seat, 18D on a little jump plane, and he looked at the seat and he looked at me and he said, "Sir, I just want you to know that your gun made it on this plane. This is going into country." I didn't know you're supposed to get these little red tickets. They act like you're supposed to remember all this shit from last year. I can't remember what I did last week.
Right.
And I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago if you're speaking fucking French to me. So anyway, so I show up and thank God I brought my toiletries in my backpack. Okay, I had my CPAP in my backpack. So I was going to be able to sleep good and clean my ass tomorrow morning. Well, no gun. Okay, so I was tired. These people had bounced me around for 24 hours, and you know how I am. I've killed so many ducks that now listen. That's why Roy's builds all these wetlands and stuff. And I even had friends, and dude, I respect it. You know, down here in the States, I'm a mallard purist.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to kill them over water. I'd rather kill them with a tennis racket as a 410. And that says a lot right there.
Right.
You're not hunting the prairie. You're not out in the open. You're in the woods, and you're living with them. That's how I learned about them. And so, boys, go ahead. Well, damn, you know, and they had that. If you watch, we just dropped at 5 p.m. every Monday. We drop our YouTube show, Carter's Big Island Hunting Club, and we just dropped that first day's hunt last Monday. And they rolled out 2 bands. Little did they know they rolled out 3 bands. And I found it the next day walking back to get the trucks because them son of a bitches they hid up there good, and some wing out. And so yeah, oh, you didn't recover all your birds? No, we made every freaking effort, you libs. So with that being said, I didn't make my first hunt, and they had some really kind people cooking up curry in the front of their car. A mom, a pregnant mother, and her mother drove them out to us about an hour and a half from that city or something. And so that was interesting. So getting back into the country, we've already went through this whole rigmarole once. Mr. Flight, got to go back through the whole rigmarole again. Well, that time there's a little more picky, and couldn't believe, that the person before, we just been through here. So obviously we're good enough that time, or your system is broke and not consistent.
Right.
So we get shipped into another room, private room. This guy's Oriental with a kind of a buzz top haircut, and his name's Son. Now I'm just sitting there, and a good old boy that I met out in the lobby does some filming down in Arkansas. As soon as he starts to walk into the same room, same deal, after some material expired. This whole time we shipped our camera equipment back because that was a hassle going through flight. They think it's a bomb or something. So I don't have any video of all this. So we're sitting there. He calls me over, talking about what's going on. He says, "Well, where's your gun declaration?" I said, "It's in there. In the guns." And they shipped the guns off the airplane back up into this room with glass around it with mirrors, just like when they locked me up. So with all that being, and that's another story. I was the innocent one in there, but I was an alcoholic, so it's a good thing. But I kind of started to get a little bit aggravated because of their system. We'd already went through it once, and I told Mr. Son I was not very impressed. I mean, what lady? The lady down at the United counter asked for our paperwork, took the paperwork, said, "You don't need this anymore," threw it away, blah, 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 filled out a new declaration and put it in there.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Oh, well, that's not. And finally, somehow, he thought I was catching an attitude. And I wasn't catching an attitude. I was born with a fucking attitude. What do you mean? Okay? I'm not impressed. This whole deal has been a shit show. These fucking Canadians and they're French and they're no ice cream and A&W root beer. It's like, dude, if there wasn't good duck hunting up there, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Well, and then he got weird. His eyes went blank and he started staring at me. And I was like, Mr. Son. I think he thought I was calling him son.
Oh.
And then finally I said, no, sir, please don't speak like that to me. No, your name's son. Now listen, don't catch an attitude. And I mean, I took an ass chewing like I was some fucking little kid all the way over to the belt where my case was floating up. I got a witness.
Right.
I don't take that real good.
Yeah. You don't take an ass chewing very well. It's not warranted.
Unless I deserve it.
Right,
Because I give ass chewing.
Right. But if it's warranted, you'll take it.
If I'm in the wrong, you fucking ain't right. I'll take it and I'll do push-ups. Get down and feed your fucking face.
Right.
But with that being said, this little bastard had been picked on all his life, and everything. It's almost like a fucking female drill sergeant or a local county deputy. And, man, he had the authority. I finally asked him, and I was like, dude, chill out. He's starting to scream and wave his hands. I said, I'm not upset. I said, but you're kind of wrong here. And that pissed him off. Mm-hmm. And I finally said, whoa, let me ask this. Who do you work for? I work for the United States government. I said, then act like it.
Oh.
I've been treated like that all the way over here.
Right.
And I paid my time.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got done, I walked over, and you can ask Dawson Stegman, to the big glass window mirror, the big mirror.
Yeah.
I did my hair and said, this is the biggest clusterfuck I've ever seen. And it will be reported. And I did an about face and marched out of there.
Were you in the Edmonton airport when this was going on?
I was like 3 stories underneath that motherfucker.
But you were at the Edmonton, because when we flew out of Calgary,
yes,
we went through U.S.
This
Customs.
was at United States Customs in the Edmonton airport.
Right.
And he was a foreigner treating me like I was an illegal alien.
Yeah, we had to go through the Calgary airport. We didn't have no problems though, but we went through the U.S. Customs in Calgary. And when we landed in Atlanta, it was just business as usual. I was shocked by that, because usually you have to declare when you come into the States, but we've got this treaty deal with Canada. So did you notice in Canada, outside of the small towns, in the big cities, there's no people that look like Canadians? They all look like you're in Pakistan or India.
Anything but American.
Yeah. Well,
now, I think you go up and if you've got white skin and blue eyes and or whatever, and you're American, I think it's like, no. And I've got it figured out. Why? You can't let a bunch of Americans up there or it will get Americanized. And there's a hidden communism behind that whole deal. And then the queen and king go broke. Have you seen the size of the king and queen's house?
Pretty big.
Okay. And you see the way they still dance around and everything. And I mean, we done kicked the fuck out of them. Okay. And so they're just up there hoping we don't come kick the fuck out of them again. They really are pussies. And then they have no way to defend themselves. The way the law reads up there is if you do own a pistol and when you die, they come and get it. It doesn't get passed down.
Right.
If you do own mineral rights in the property you bought, and that about had to be done before 1900, as soon as you die, they come in and take your mineral rights. Because I said, well, because I was looking for land to buy, because I'm going to go up there and see if I can't put that outfit out of business that was fucking with me. They're takers. They don't build no wetlands. I mean, I think these are the type of people that probably make a living off of fishing, selling resources in the summertime, selling resources in the wintertime. Better do a lot of donating is all I got to say. Because, and I'm probably going to hurt some people's feelings because there's other people. I have the right to voice my opinion. And I know from a farmer that if we don't give back more than we take, stewards of the land, it's going to be fucked. absolutely fucked. And if you look at the track record, it would be hard to say, Mr. Carter, you're wrong.
No, you're right. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
you goddamn right. I'm right. 100%. Am I right or am I right?
So
It's usually how it is.
You want to get involved in business in Canada dealing with Canadians after all you went through.
Yes, because I'll put up my walls. I made some friends up there. See, what's neat is all the beat down farmers up there are just like me.
Yep.
And they fell in love with me, and they're sick of those outfitters that are city fucks. And so we've got, when you watch our show, we had a father, a son, and his father and his brother hunt with us. They got us permission to hunt, and we just put another A-frame in the middle, and these fucking people had the time of their life. The little boy got to skip school a day and a half. He had to get back the second day because they were going to pick hockey teams at recess.
Oh.
And, dude, generations, pass it on or lose it.
Yeah.
Check out our photo scenes.
That's badass.
The little boy's fetching up the ducks. He doesn't look for bands. The kids are talking about bands in front of the Canadians. I pulled them aside and said, shut the fuck up. These fucking people up there that think I'm bringing people, I'm not even disclosing the information. When I bring it, I'm going to bring the fucking hammer.
That's the way to do it.
That's the only way I know.
Yeah, just fucking drop it on them.
Drop it on them. And there's some good people up there too, but yeah, no. Okay, so here's the deal. This guy reaches out to my son, and he says, boy, I don't know, Drake. This old boy that runs this outfit. I just don't know what to do here. You guys kind of made a little mistake, and either you leave or I'm going to turn you in.
What was the mistake?
I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay.
So what Roy do? This is back. See, Roy's conversation circle back. Roy goes back to the just do the next right thing.
Yeah.
And of course we already had. As soon as we made a little mistake, it's like, and we didn't know it was a mistake. When we found out it was a mistake, I picked up the phone, called them, the boys in green, said, hey, I fucked up.
What'd they say?
They come over and they couldn't fucking believe it. Knocked on the door, and it was kind of neat. I had left a message in the town on the Fish and Game answering machine.
You stirred up all kinds of shit.
They knocked on the door, which told me there was only one person that knew where we were living or staying through a prior conversation. Told me that outfitter up there turned us in. And right when Drake opens the door, he says, boy, am I glad you guys showed up. We've been trying to get a hold of you. And they just went, what? And so we got a warning for our mistake, and they just couldn't believe the honesty and everything. And that was that. And then I said, call them motherfuckers up, Drake. Call them now.
Did they answer?
They answered, and I burn a bridge. Wasn't going to cross that bridge anyway. I was going to blow the motherfucker up and walk across the water.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to say they burn a bridge first, wouldn't you?
right.
So are you driving up next time
What
or
a
flying?
chicken shit to call somebody up and say, well, I don't know whether to turn you in or not.
And you'd already turned them in.
We'd already turned ourselves in. And what's funny is all these kids are around me. And I said, did you just feel that, guys? I learned it in AA. I've went to church and religion all my life, but I learned it in AA. Just do the next right thing. Play the tape all the way through. Page 471 in the big book. You're not in charge.
Right.
You may think you are, and that's what's got you fucked up all your life, but you ain't in charge. I was working on a dozer yesterday. Opened up my toolbox, and a 14 millimeter fell out of position. I put it back up in place because I need 11/16, a 9/16, a half inch to take this screen out of this gosh dang fuel injector that keeps clogging up on this old D4. I noticed last time that 9/16 was getting a little bit wobbled. You know what wrench fit it perfectly?
The 14?
the 14 millimeter that fell out of my toolbox. This happens to me every fucking day.
Just do the next right thing.
And the kids witness this. Okay?
Uh-huh.
We're trying to get permission on a piece of property. Can't get permission. No shit. We asked this guy named Robert. Well, guess what? The guys that we hook up with and start hunting with, the old man says, oh, well, hell, I know Robert. He's my cousin.
Circles
So we
back.
finally, we're having a nice breakfast. And Kyle is this guy's name. And his boy's name's Ace. And that's kind of cool because my buddy Blackburn had a black lab, Ace, that we used to hunt over. And my hunter dog, that was his daddy. So Ace was a hell of a dog. And I mean, and it's funny, his dad, Kyle, you think I didn't get along with these son of a bitches? They drop the F-bomb more than I do. Kyle! Or no, I'm sorry. But his boy's Ace, and he's like, Ace, what the fuck? This isn't a volunteer job, eh? Hustle up, you know. Come on, Ace. Fuck shit, Ace. I mean, and that's talking to like the 10-year-old. Okay, in Canada's so fucked up, they won't let kids hunt until they're 12 years old. And you know why? Because they'll already be hooked on sex and drugs and rock and roll by then.
Yeah.
They don't want hunters.
Right.
As we know, around third grade is what, like, I think Mr. and heavy on the Mr. George Dunklin is helping and donating and educating in his Arkansas facility down there at Five Oaks with Dr. Osborne and stuff. Because think about at third grade, dude, you're kind of like, wow, you're on fire, man. You're going to be the president.
Uh-huh.
You're going to be the astronaut. You still haven't realized that you're not the strongest, toughest, and fastest in the class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of egocentrism going on mentally up there. And you're starting to realize psychologically that other people do exist, though. But so anyway, we found the locals. And here we go again. During conversation, because those guys are all drunks up there. They love to ice fish.
Yeah.
I said, Kyle, you want a beer? No, Roy, I had to quit that stuff a long time ago. And I paused and I looked at him because I could feel this. Oh, really? How about you, Roy? No, I don't drink no more. When'd you quit, Kyle? Oh, about mid-April 2017, don't you know? Fuck shakes. Oh, really? I quit January 24th, 2017.
Wow. That's amazing.
Dude, I mean, the fucking goosebumps are popping up on my arm right now.
Uh-huh.
So we've got family up there, and as soon as we get our decoy sponsors on board to just like, okay, here's what we got to do. Boom, boom, boom. And then, of course, I got to bring something to the table. I guess I need to start selling a bunch of decoys or something. But anyway, we're going to ship a bunch of full bodies up to Kyle, and we won't have to fucking play next year. We killing all these sumbitches over skinnies. And boy, we butchered them. We ended up shooting 9 bands. Now, let me explain this. Don't pack your bags and head north, because it's probably not going to happen to you. I know that one could get their little heart broke or what have you when I say that. What an arrogant bastard. But no, dude, no, this is spiritual. Trey Bow and I, Trey Crawford. If you don't know Trey Crawford, then you haven't been in the duck hunting. What I call a serious level. And you may have grew up on the eastern shore and been killing them and got salt water growing out your ears. But so anyway, we were going to try to get a gig up there and was talking with a guy named Al, and I think that's who these guys bought from. And I've got some friends or some newly friends up there because, there's good people up there too. The boy, right away, because, we threw a story up and then it's like, So the boy right away had some of our friends up there say, oh, Drake, shit, you can't do that. And that's when we kind of realized, oops, we had fucked up. Okay. And so that's what that whole gig is we still had some friends up there. But anyway, Treybo and I was going to do a gig up there, and then Trey got cancer and died, and then little Trey, Charles Crawford, who I met north of Brinkley on what Trey called his floating back 40 on the Cache in the Black Swamp. Charlie was 5 and could do the Trey Crawford, Butch Richenbach tree feed like nobody's business. And Arnold Palmer's kids probably good golfers too, you know. So anyway, last year we went back up there, and it was the Treybo hunt. It was all about getting back up, getting to where Trey told us to go.
Mm-hmm.
And he said when he was up there, he never seen one other outfitter, never seen another person hunting. And he'd been going up there for like 10 years, working for another group. Oh, and so whoever it is up there found some pictures in their camp or something of Trey, and we're going to be getting that back. So it's all the way up there. You see what I'm getting at? This
spiritual.
Don't piss off anybody in the waterfowl industry.
Yeah, it's a small world.
It's real small, and most of my friends have died of old age or cancer or something. So, or for stupid wrecks. We're a wild group. We don't live long. It's just that. I mean, I'm only 55, but I can promise you there's people that's watched me run and they're surprised. So, and now I'm just chill beans. But with that being said, it was just special. And we shot one band up there last year, and it was Fisher's first band. And I could kind of feel Charlie's heart drop because, we could really, could really feel Trey. And then this year, boy howdy, it was something else, and some other, it was just a great hunt, and it's neat when you're duck hunting because hindsight's 20/20, and once you set up a gig and it don't work perfect, you always have these analytics of why it didn't work, and then you try to change that up tomorrow. And so we had some days where they tricked us. We had one day we didn't think we did very good. We only killed 48 mallards.
I didn't think you did very well.
It only killed 48.
Only 48. Damn it.
Yeah. But then and here's why we didn't do good. We tried to get in between a great big feed on a pea field. It's been so dry up there, they're not growing many peas. And that feed was too big. It's like sitting by the blue hole. Okay. And the blue hole and that's something I learned from Barrett Satterley. I like that. You can learn. Don't get me wrong, Barrett's smart and everything. And that some bitch like heating and plumbing and all that stuff going on over in Joplin. Yeah, but ducks, I usually, But Phil Robinson, which was good friends with Barrett, and always come up and hunted on the pecan grove and stuff I sold him. I think that's the blue hole, and that's kind of neat because the Democrats, the blue hole, the liberal hole.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Phil wanted to get in there and kill them some bitches on the refuge. I mean, so I'm not the only cold-blooded killer out there, and and I can sit here and blow smoke up your ass and everything, but it's just, dude. So it's legal, okay, to shoot any sex up there, and we try to shoot drakes, but here's the way I look at it. It's legal, and if we the sportsmen, the Republicans, if we start thinking that what is going on around us is too aggressive and start to downsize that's not going to go in the right direction politically. You're just helping the libs. And so it was my duty to go up there and kill as many brown ducks as possible. That's a joke. See, look, right. They're already fucking pissed off. Jesus Christ. Chill. Chill. I'm going to tell you what. I've been burning diesel. Oh, and by the way, CBI Hunt Club, everybody knows the rules. Your money, your final deposit has to be in October 1st. And trust me, there's a hell of a waiting list. Okay? I'm talking 3 deep. So everybody out there, get Drake's phone number on speed dial. 620-778-5480. Once again, 620-778-5480. And all you old boys are in. I'm not being a prick. but my checking account is really fucking low right now.
And October 1st is coming up. It's here.
I actually paid some interest on a note and told the banker, dude, I'll bring you up for about October 1st or 15th. Will that be okay? So, all right, we're not just sitting here fucking hoarding in our piggy bank, because
Right.
I've got this addiction for building habitat. And I got home. Now I did, we were going to do this podcast yesterday. I got home at 4:30 yesterday morning. No, it's just like, Jeff, I'm no way can I have my mojo.
Right.
But then once I got out of bed and woke up and coffeeed up, by 1 o'clock, I was out there on a dozer. And God, it's sexy. Oh my God. And it's neat because our northern farms received 3 inches of rain, and the lids I had shut up here on just aquatics and nothing with green tree on it really caught and did well. And then down south where my big timber projects are, only got 8/10. And so that's allowing me to like burn some brush piles, and I'm getting where I built that, there's no fucking I in CBI. Well, yes, there is. No, there ain't. So anyhow, it's really sexy. Now, and I noticed some acorns starting to fall, and but the trees are loaded. And so I'm really excited, as you can tell, about that. Let's see. And we got our blind. Okay. And then I brought a grain truck in. I've got all these maple trees around. And when it comes to cutting foliage, I want lush foliage with light stick. It doesn't have to be an oak. An oak's fine. And an oak turns a specific color. And I truly have witnessed, I'm not going to say I believe, I know because I've watched it. When ducks get hooked on the acorns or figure out that the acorns, and a good example for all you guys out there, you watch the wood ducks. If you're in an area that doesn't have a lot of mallards, they will eventually start aiming right for those red foliaged acorn trees, oak trees, the red oaks, the small pin oaks. Down south, I guess they don't have as much foliage because they're the willow oaks and they turn yellow, but that's beyond the point.
Right.
They're smaller and they're the most desired for the ingestibility. But with that being said, we've got some willow oaks planted up here, and I've never seen them put a nut on yet. And some of the bitches are about that big around at the base. So I'll have to call Jody up and see. But with I got to get my brain back to focus.
Okay,
that's what I was. Yeah,
I'm going to ask you a question. Okay. When you go back to Canada next year, are you flying or are you driving? Because once you get across the border, it's pretty easy. We're flying. Airports are a pain in the ass.
That's a tough one. I think I'm probably going to send it. I'll probably fly, but I'm going to be much more organized. In other words, guys, there's a 4557 form. As Jeff said earlier, our United States guys will accept that declaration from them guys from Canada because of that treaty deal. But it's a lot better if you just have that American deal. After he got pissed off and everything, and we had this big talk, and thank God I had a 3-hour layover or longer. He said basically that this 4557, whatever it is, card is just like the passport. It's a passport for those guns. And so with that concept, once it's explained that way, and if I would have just kept that, anytime I'm hunting up there, I have the declaration in my wallet. Mm-hmm. And I have my passport on me because a lot of countries, you got to. So if I would have just kept that declaration form in my wallet, I'd have been fine. So I'll probably fly, and I might either we're going to shoot video of. See, that's why I sent the cameraman with me, because I got to get this X here. That's why I sent the cameraman. But shoot any footage. I guess it's too big of a cluster. It's always such clusterfuck with me that we thought, man, this would make a great TV show, and it would have. but I think they would have repoed the cameras. I mean, it was
Probably so.
crazy, but
yeah, you
I'll
got to be
probably
careful.
fly, Jeff.
You got to be careful with the cameras, because then all of a sudden, you're working in America. You're an American working up there, and they look for any reason that they can.
We've been down that road before.
Bust your balls.
We kid that works for me crossed yesterday, and he called me when he crossed. He said, "I was going to let you know." He said, "I just crossed the border." I go, "How was it?" He goes, "It's absolutely the easiest thing I've ever done." He goes, "They didn't ask to see my guns. They didn't ask for nothing." He said, "Okay." He said, "I got my guns. You got your gun with you back there?" "Yep." "Okay, good. Go on." It was the end of it. He said it was the easiest crossing he's ever had in his life. But
they're probably watching now. We've started crossing our land vehicles between 1 and 3 in the morning, and gone.
Yeah.
Now, don't go up, because I think they get off. They either get off at 5 or 3, but don't go up when they got 3 hours left on hand on land with me. But statute of limitations is up on that, so it shouldn't be such a deal. I've had a 3-hour interrogation up there before. I've had a guy kicking the fucking desk up there in front of me before.
Why?
Told him, I said, "I see how this systems goes. I'm just going to shut up." And he says, "Shut up. What are you hiding?" And I mean, I'm talking CSI. He had the little fucking, like the stubble. He was a pretty bastard if I was gay. I mean, he looked just like that. You know what I mean? A nice tan, and the hair was he was a cockhound.
Yeah.
And it was just having a blast with me. I've seen, one time they asked, I was told when I went to basic, don't ever volunteer for anything unless they need somebody that knows how to type.
Okay.
Don't be first and don't be last. And believe it or not, one day they said, "Does anybody know how to type?" I stuck my hand up, and I went in there and I started typing up these ID cards for the guys. And it was weird, because my buddy Shannon Golf, who used to manage the steakhouse for me, I seen him drag him over to the spigot on the side of the building there. Poor bastard was having kind of passed out and dumping water on him and stuff. But those drill sergeants, when they came into that room, were laughing and having the damnedest time of their life. And then they would just put on the fucking face and put that round billed hat on and walk out of that motherfucker like a whole different human being. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
don't volunteer for anything unless it's to type.
Unless it's to type it, because yeah. And I did get out of torture for about an hour and a half.
There you go.
I think that if I was going to go back to Canada and hunt, and I was going to go to Alberta or Saskatchewan, I would fly to Calgary direct from Dallas. That's where we screwed up last time. We spent all day on an airplane, 2 days. I would fly direct to Calgary and then catch a jumper if I was going to Peace River, Edmonton, or I was going to Saskatoon. That's what I would do. I would not take that at Atlanta to Winnipeg to Saskatoon. That takes all freaking day. And Winnipeg was not bad. Saskatoon, I've been interrogated there about 10 years ago real bad, got called in the back room. And it don't matter what you do. If you shut your mouth, you're in trouble. If you talk, you're in trouble. If you get the wrong officer, it's just like I'm sure for people that come to America, if you fly into America and you're an asshole, you're either quiet or you get the wrong guy, it can make your day a lot longer. Flying into DFW is very, very, very simple. It's probably as easy as Miami's a pain in the ass, but it depends where you go into and what you go through, I guess. But I just can't believe you went through that much hell, and I can't believe people called in on you up there. But that's the way it is. I mean, those areas, they don't like out of towners sometimes, and they're just being an asshole.
Being an asshole, I get it. I mean, and have I lost my scruples sometimes over mallards and did things that I regret? Fuck, can't count them on both hands.
Well, if you done something so bad, they wouldn't have given you a warning.
Right. Well, if we wouldn't have turned ourselves in or something, we'd got a ticket. But it's that I think they were just shocked.
You got to get in front of it and walk it back. That's the rules. You fuck up, just get in front of it and walk it back.
Very well put. Because as soon as I called and turned and said, "Hey, we fucked up," and I felt like an idiot because, the boys and I talked about, well, God, should we put this on the podcast and make a great story? Because hell, we're all pretty avid duck hunters, and it was a small little line that we didn't read. So,
Right. Hey,
And
what were the did you see any pintails up there? What were they like?
yes, not a ton of pintails where we were at. Did see some.
I've heard they're a pain
The,
in the ass right now.
the duck hunting, now there was some groups come in, seen a lot of widgeon in one area, seen a band, and another thing. Here's how ass backwards Canada is. All the bands, and now you're going to have to be a duck hunter to know this, folks. All the bands are on the right leg. So I think that maybe, I wonder if the majority of Canadians aren't left-handed. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying that ass backwards. But, and I'm not picking on anybody, but if you're left-handed, it's a right-handed world.
Right.
And the reason I say that is all 9 of those bands were on the right leg. I've been doing this shit all my life, folks, here in the States. And 9 out of 10 bands that I've ever seen, and I've seen, I don't know, 100 bands killed probably, left leg. So much so that when I'm landing ducks in the woods,
Looking
and
on
it's
that
a
left
lot
leg.
of ducks, I strictly just start looking at left leg. A lot of that could be because, contrary to how a lot of people set their blinds up, I usually set my blind with the sun hitting it so that I don't have a shadow. And so with a north wind, I've got left legs facing me, see. And anyway, that's kind of why I guess I get it. I try to position myself, but up there, right leg. And then I seen a bird resting with a band on the right leg. And then one of the boys had a shot cam on his gun, and that was cool. You could see the band before he shot it, and then you could see the band on another mallard drake flying away.
That's
That he did.
badass.
Yeah, so it was just,
Did they
it
have
was
any
just-
color this time of year? Like, could you tell?
oh yeah, yeah.
They were
If you
starting
look
to-
at our post and stuff, you can tell by some of them are actually mature greenheads, and I'm going to guess that's I'm pretty sure. I should know because I used to farm and raise ducks and stuff, but that's the old ducks. And one thing I seen up there looks like they had a hell of a young hatch because these ducks were hunting, dude. I got some of them to break and work to the big call, and most of them though are learning how to fly.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
and they're doing this, and when they hit the ground and they plop forward,
Uh-huh.
and it's like new day with wings. And I tell you what, I think you just go set your A-frame in the middle of the field, and when they come over to look down in that A-frame to see what it is, just shoot them. Because we tried everything as far as there's our spread and there's the Gangsford and and the lake, that's where they're going to do it, and nope. I had the guy over here, I was on the end. I tried to get like on the upwind side to call the shot so that they come all the way through. These son of bitches came coming around, looking right over the corner. You about have to duck your head, So I think next year maybe put a U shape and either run your blind right up the middle and set vertical and shoot them out both sides. That's kind of something they did on the East Coast a little bit, or put it back in here. I'm not sure, but they want to look down in that bush to see, I guess, if there's any coyotes or predators in there before they go land with those ducks.
That makes sense.
It makes sense to me, but so anyway, it's just kind of weird. They're not really responsive to the call, meaning they're just going.
Right.
They're not really organized, and their senses aren't like tipped up to where, okay, we need to land with live ducks because we're getting shot at over fake ducks. And that's why the further south you go, the better duck caller you're with, the more crucial that is. Okay. Because it gets to where, like around here, if you don't sound like a drunk, no, if you don't sound like a duck, I'm not going to let you blow. I'm sorry. Now there's some days where, yeah, you can go ahead and just do whatever. When it's sunny and windy, yeah, it's all good, man. But then there's some days when it's a little cloudy and it's a little weird, and hell, that's just the truth.
Right.
I used to hunt public, grew up hunting public out here all my life, and There wasn't, back in the 80s, there was very few people that could even blow a hell call. Hardly anybody blew a single reed Arkansas style call. It was all triple reed Jensen, you know what I mean, Daffy Duck shit going on. And so when you hit them with the big call, them motherfuckers break their neck. And so anyway, up there, a few groups breaking on it and working good, but a lot of them just A to B, just doing their thing. And getting away from that big feed helped us a bunch. So we had 10 guys. We killed 80. We knew we had killed 2 bands. And then whenever they were hanging them on Charlie's neck, by the neck on our Carter straps, another band fell down out of the meat.
Oh, shit.
And, yeah. And it's funny. I've got some pictures of Drake. They put them all on Drake's neck, but they didn't put them on his shoulders, up on his neck. And that poor, tall, skinny kid. And he's a lot stouter. And if you ever got him mad, he'd probably be a handful. But I don't know that there's any mad in him, but there's a couple people that might find out. But with that being said, he had all them up on his neck, and I could see his face turning white. Got to doing the math. Quite a bit of weight right there. 200 pounds, you know what I mean? But yeah, those birds wasn't quite as big. They're probably 2-pound birds up there as compared to down here, you know. But yeah, so you could tell. And we always tried to shoot drakes, but when we call the shot, we're going to mow through them. Mm-hmm. And if you watch my guys shoot, it's not, you can tell that these are professionals. You'll see the far 30-yard ducks fall first.
Right.
And everything in the middle gets mopped up. Yeah, like we had several rainouts where there wasn't any survivors. A group of 8 come in, we kill all 8 of them, and kill them like in 2 volleys. In other words, you'd see them fall out and then the next fall out. And so that's the only duck that's not scared is the one that is upside down with his legs sticking in the air.
That's true.
Yeah. So kill them all when they come in.
Think of all the stress you took off that duck's mind. He doesn't have to worry about where he's going to eat. He doesn't have to worry about where he's going to drink. You're just relieving stress on that poor duck.
Yeah, like I'm not going to, I don't know what you can say legally or not nowadays, but as we used to say, send them to see their little Jesus.
Right.
Did you see a lot of other game up there? Moose, bear, elk, all that stuff?
I've seen the biggest, nicest black bear I've ever seen in my life. Seen a dead moose on the side of the road. Kids seen some on the hoof. That's usually I see moose up there. Seen some nice elk. I guess there's a lot of wolves around there. Never seen one of them. Grouse. I tell you what, guys, that's another reason I want to open an outfitter. So if anybody's listening and they'd like to share or do allocations, give me a call. And hell, I might partner up with Field Quarter. I don't know. I hope I don't get sued for using their name, but they're out there or whatever. You can cut that out if I'm going to judge. But I'm willing to. I don't hold grudges. I get it, and I'm such a businessman that I hope you don't call it two-faced. But if I think you're an asshole, let's state that and get that out of the way, and then move on. Okay, maybe I can help you. If you're a bed full of rags or ragweed, why don't we cultivate the ragweeds and put some good, roses in there? Get rid of the mustard seed or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Do a little bread breaking.
I know a guy a place that's for sale up there. I'll get with you the next day or two. I'll get all the information for you.
Please do.
It's a lodge. It's everything.
Then I have to look and see the allocations and do my homework. You know what I mean?
Now this place here is.
We want to do it legal. I won't do anything illegal, and that's because I want it. You got to play the tape all the way through. If we ever do anything illegal, I want to make it right then and there. And then also, it's so beautiful up there, Jeff. There's no humans. And the fall colors, and everybody's a good old boy driving old raggedy equipment and stuff. I mean, now there's big equipment. Don't get me wrong, but these are country folks, for fuck's sakes, and they say the fuck word more than I do.
Well,
dude, and that's what I want to preach a little bit on my YouTube. On our YouTube and stuff. Oh, come here, sweetie. Come over here. There's no I in CBI. Come up here. I want you to tell Jeff. what we do. We say live CBI.
Live CBI.
There you go.
Yeah, and so I want to take my whole family up there, and
beautiful
in the fall,
beautiful stuff
for
up
2
there.
months. Yes, and then ship. And then when the kids got it, of course they'll have some schooling and everything. So visualize this: living up there for 2 months, and then coming down here for 74 days, and then hang around for about another 15 and butcher the geese, and then drift on down, while fitting in a duck hunt in Arkansas with my friends, and then head on down to Florida. Not a bad way to live.
Not a bad way to live.
Very good life.
Good schedule. Pretty good. I'm sure I'll find something to bitch about, but that'd be a nice dream.
Yeah, that'd be the way to do it.
You want
100%. That's the goal for everybody. Just shoot them up there for 2 months, come down here for 2 months, and then head on down to Florida.
Yes, and I always have to watch to make sure that I'm not shooting myself in the foot as a businessman, but I'm pretty sure that I've got the clientele base that would like to go do that and have that experience and spend the dinero up there, and then also come down here and hunt with us down here as well. So I would just basically be providing the best service I could provide that we've been doing since 1986. So I've already got the clientele base that would probably, want to do it. A lot of my clients used to go up there and hunt with Trebo.
Right.
And it works. You got to be careful on that. There's rules as a guide. In other words, if you work for me, you don't try to steal my clients. If I catch you over there talking business about coming to your spot, you're fired.
Good business and smart.
Good way to do it.
That is exactly right.
Look, it's the only way. Everything with me is black and white.
Right.
And so
cut out a lot of bullshit that way. Having it all black and white. I mean, it's pretty fucking simple. Nobody, you can't get confused.
It's fixing to get that way here in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the way it needs to be. Yeah, we're going to have, and that's what Dad said, the next real one's going to be right here. It's going to be another Civil War. And that's where it's going to get a little touchy. But if it does happen, I want it to happen when we got a Republican in the White House.
That's true, too. Yeah. I think we're more divided now than we ever have been.
It's the worst I've ever seen. And that's why I'm speaking so up front, because it saddens me. People are going to watch this and they're going to call me a racist, and I'm the first thing from it. And we all bleed red and we're green and multicultural. It's the melting pot. But I don't sit here and say I'm a European American. So anybody that states that they're an African American just can't accept the fact that they're just an American. Why did you just segregate yourself?
Yeah, good point.
Okay, here's how fucked up it is. I go to the new Kansas City airport and I gotta go. Okay?
Yeah.
So I go to this brand new nice shitter. Either sex. It's non-denomination. If you don't know what the fuck you are, there's no more confusion. This is for you. So I'm sitting on a shitter right beside women, and then you're washing hands. You know, some of these guys are rapists in here.
Yeah.
How's that going to work?
Yeah. True.
You can't tell me there hasn't been a rapist go through the MCI airport.
That's very true.
I talked to one lady and I said, boy, this is weird, ain't it? Well, this, in the school system makes it really simple. Okay. I know who you voted for.
Right.
Right. Okay, and there's another deal. If you'll go into these elementary school systems and look at like a lot of these special ed, or these people with the master's and doctorate degrees that work with the special need kids,
You can tell.
I've got a degree in elementary ed, and you can kind of see who wanders that way in education, because there's something in the back there, subliminal, and and it's good. My mission statement when I graduated was I wanted to take that kid that didn't fit in and try to make him fit in without it being noticeable, so that he was picked on. So I got a big heart. But you got to be careful, because people will run all over that son of a bitch. And that's where this big wall comes up and everything. And so a lot of those are just screwballs, quacks, and anyway. But no, that's kind of the dream. And Jeff, yes. And anybody out there listening, and I've seeked, like last year when I got to know the officials, because they called them on us last year. Thought we was guiding. No, we're not guiding. So we've been seeking and talking to the locals and the feds up there on how to get these allocations, and they've been real helpful. They basically say, well, you need to buy them or share with other people that already have the allocation, and then get a local resident involved. So I don't have it all going. Probably need to hire an attorney when we get to that point, just to get it all I's and T's, and go for it. But I've already got the team too. See, that's another thing is, if you come hunting with Carters, you're going to be hunting with people that's what they do. Okay, all year long. Waterfowl,
very important.
Ducks,
right?
I mean, yeah, and they're goose killers. I got some goose killers too, but it's ducks, and I mean. Treybo, you say F them geese, because you're up there and the geese just mess it up. And Trey was a big man, and he had a temper, and so whenever things would go wrong, he'd scream, "Fuck them geese!" And boy, get on that call that he won 3 world champions and champion of champions with, and nobody could compare. I'm all about the mallard. I mean, black ducks. Just it gets in your blood, and you just can't stop it. So yeah, that's what we want to do. I mean, we want to go up there, and we don't want to infringe on anybody, and probably not going to steal any of your clients, because we've already got them. But that circulates too. But I've noticed now, since everything's right, since I'm not drinking, since my guides aren't drinking, and on a regular basis. They got drunk once, and it was in front of Jeff Stanfield. That they don't drink. And you could tell by sitting back and watching Jeff that they don't drink. Because they were shit-faced. Back when I was a drunk, you couldn't really tell. Janice, my wife said, well, I couldn't tell.
It's because I'm a professional.
Because you never see me sober.
Hey, before we get off here, what was the weather like up there? Because it's unseasonably warm in Canada still.
It was beautiful. Now, the kids said they hit 92 degrees in Saskatchewan on the way home. But I'm going to tell you right now, we had frost 2 mornings. So 0 degrees Celsius hunting, and then we'd have the doors and windows open in our place where we lodged. And God, it was nice. It was up in northern Alberta, very, very nice.
I'm looking at
high of 70, maybe no, actually like a high of 65 or so.
I'm looking at Peace River right now, and then all the way up until October 5th, they don't have a freeze yet.
Huh.
That's crazy to think of. Deal. Well, Roy, we appreciate you being on here, my friend. CBI Live, Carter's Big Island. Check them out in Kansas.
Glad you made it back.
You be safe, my friend, and I will see you at Turkey in February.
Oh, I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time and popping up to Kansas and bullshitting with me. And I really mean this. You know, God bless everybody that deserves it, and everybody else will work on it. Hell, if I can turn around, anybody can. And I'm not here to preach. All I want to do is kill greenheads legally and have a good time doing it.
Very good. Well, you have a safe season this year, Roy, and we will see you in a couple short months.
Yep. God bless you.
Boy, you guys as well. Good luck down there, and keep hammering.
Thank you, sir.
Tell the family I said hello. Talk to you later, my friend.
Bye.
I will. Bye-bye, guys.
Live CBI.
Live CBI. Roy Carter at Carter's Big Island in St. Paul, Kansas. Check him out. Holler at us if you need anything. Remember, we got that Shin Gear goose hunt coming up. Fixing to release all the information on that. Be December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. 3 morning hunts, goose hunt, lodge, and meals. Be some people from Shin here, and get a pair of scout boots while you're here also. Anyways, thank you for listening to us. God bless you, and have a great day.
Watch for deer. And check out all of our great sponsors. Go check out Cedar Run Decoys. Get something you can pass down to your children and grandchildren. Mitchell Chevrolet, Stanfield Outfitters, Mossberg, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Podcast, Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it's not the duck. Ducks Unlimited. Find a way to get involved. Dive Bomb Industries, Get Skinny. Pacific Calls, use our promo code BHP25. And Boss Shot Shells has their new 100% copper load out right now.